I was surprised as to how great March's metal albums were, man.
There were some slimy picks, there were some invincible picks. These are amazing picks from March. Messiah Christus Hypercubus, he is risen. And he's trapped inside the Christus Hypercubus. Kind of a new band for me. They were actually introduced to me through our Bad album art video. Scope it right here in the thing. It's right there. I know it.
This is cool.
I really like it.
Yeah.
The keyboards are sick.
Messiah is still thrashing, and this album, their 7th studio album, is pretty stacked, Forgemates. There are some absolute rippers on here, and these Swiss Christians, are here to pronounce the name of their savior, Jesus Christ! All memes aside, this band is the real deal, guys. Their guitar tones are frickin' insane. The drums are modern without being too compressed and digitized. And the growling vocals are a very welcome addition, really pushing this album into death thrash territory. Expect some fantastic solos and tenacious riffs from this album, with Once Upon a Time Nothing being one of their highlight songs. Some of these riff passages do tend to drag and repeat a bit, keeping this album from being an album of the year contender. Still, I'm not even like a big thrash fan, and this feels totally worth your time. Scope it.
Dödsrit, Nocturnal Will. This is a compelling reminder that black metal can still blow the grim doors down with killer metal releases in 2024. I will admit that I've been particularly fond of the death metal genre lately, but this album emerges proud and frozen as hell in the black metal subgenre. With a blend of raw energy and melodic finesse, Dödsrit showcases their mastery in what I love about the black metal genre: atmosphere, finesse, and yes, weirdly enough, groove. The album's fiery spirit, exemplified by shimmering guitars and roaring, screeching black metal vocals, captivated me from start to finish on this record. Tracks like Nocturnal Fire and As Death Comes Reaping blend furious intensity with gentle melancholy, creating a uniquely immersive experience from start to finish. While the album may not innovate stylistically, its dynamic energy kept me highly engaged throughout. If you enjoy bands like Winterfelleth or Spectral Wound, you will easily fall in love with this record. Nocturnal Will is a fantastic example of the emotional power that black metal holds, offering both joy and sadness in equal measure. With its captivating melodies and raw honesty, this album demands your attention. Definitely don't miss it.
Gray Skies Fallen, molded by broken hands. A more overlooked melodic doom band from the US. I first learned about these guys when I saw them at a small nightclub in New York City with November's Doom, Gwynblade, and Saturnus. That was a super memorable show and a highlight of my concert-going life. As you just heard, these guys have a strong foothold in the somber, melodic territory, bringing in tropes from other extreme genres to keep things pretty interesting. There have been a lot of comparisons to their label mates Gothrim. Personally, I don't see it, and I don't think it's a really fair comparison. There are some huge names associated with this record, Forgemates. Profound Lore, a massive international metal label. Travis Smith, a world-renowned metal album artist. Dan Swano and Colin Marston taking on mastering and engineering duties, respectively. You can tell that this album has that magic touch, especially on songs like Knowing That You're There. If you are a sucker for bands like My Dying Bride and November's Doom, you better have this album on your rotation. It might not be their best, but there are a few songs on here that very well could be essential to your melodic doom playlist.
Aborted, the Vault of Horrors. Aborted's latest offering draws inspiration from horror movie universes, and you know what? It's kind of my bag, man. With an impressive lineup of 10 different metal vocalists across all of the tracks, anticipation ran pretty damn high for me on this unique collaboration. With a steadfast commitment to their distinctive style over 2 whole decades, man, Aborted continues to impress, despite the criticisms of those who appreciate the band's great consistency. Tracks like Dreadbringer and The Golgothan showcase the band's ability to blend ominous atmospheres and ferocious, chunky guitar work. The album is a relentless assault, showcasing unyielding intensity and diverse vocal contributions from various guests. Vault of Horrors is easily one of Aborted's strongest releases to date, reminiscent of their acclaimed Retrogore album, which honestly, I thought this one was a little bit better. With its persistent chaos and diverse track list, this will easily hit my death metal album of the year list.
Midnight, Hellish Expectations. Easily one of the best in the modern black metal scene. Midnight was one of the first bands we ever talked about on this channel with their 2020 record, Rebirth by Blasphemy.
Hey, it's midnight. I was thinking about going to get some taffy.
Ben, I'm trying to summon the devil!
As a guitar player myself, I love this record. There's a gritty, nasty tone to every stringed instrument. The solos will strip you of your flesh and cover you in salt. There are some blistering sections on here that just pummel you. The punk influences on this record are very welcome too. Whenever I hear this album, I think of a basement show with a small drum kit in the corner, a bass rig, half stack, and SM58 covered in slobber. This record sounds like you're in a sex dungeon with the hottest BDSM folks you've ever seen, about ready to lick or kick your butthole. Spit, beer, piss, orgies, sodomy. Basically the antithesis of Christus Hypercubus. This is the 5% body fat hooded boy messiah warned you about. This record is fun as hell. Give it a spin at the gym or on a late night cruise out in the woods somewhere. It's scary.
Necrophobic in the Twilight Gray. Necrophobic's consistency in crafting their distinct, ferocious yet melodic black metal sound shines thoroughly in their latest endeavor. The single As Stars Collide immediately dispels any ambiguity, blending melodic black metal with majestic pagan atmospheres, and it is just perfect, man. Highlighted by captivating guitar arpeggios and thrashy interludes, this is a band that clearly knows what the they're doing within the black metal genre. I let this album spin over and over again that I've lost count. I doubt I'll get sick of it anytime soon. The track Shadows of the Brightest Night is easily one of my favorites on the entire record, seamlessly blending captivating guitar leads, menacing grooves, killer guitar solos, and also terrifying vocals.
I do not dread the blinding light. Spheres ablaze, flaming.
Throughout the record's 56-minute runtime, Necrophobic's effortless execution shines brilliantly and proud in their evil soundscape that they've crafted here. Sebastian and Johann's guitar work in particular should definitely be heralded as one of black metal's finest guitar duos.
Did you find your peace when the truthful ones arrive?
In the Twilight Grey ultimately solidifies itself as Necrophobic's strongest later career release in my opinion. This is easily going to make my black metal end of the year list.
Shot down in cold blood. Didn't know my name. No one understood.
Judas Priest's Invincible Shield. Outside of Slimelord, my favorite album of March, this record melted my face when I first heard it. A lot of people were really stunned at how good Firepower was, present company included.
Into fire, fates in my hands, waiting for lightning to strike.
That album was awesome. To have them followed up about 6 years later with another studio full-length had me feeling a bit skeptical, not gonna lie. A lot of these bands that are in the twilight of their career have released mediocre albums at best. This album is far from mediocre. It's hard to believe that these guys have been at it for nearly 40 years, but we've talked about plenty of other bands that are going on 4+ decades and they still kill it. What's great about this record is that it truly doesn't let up. Even the mid-paced songs are going to showcase some incredible vocal or guitar runs, or both.
Heavy is the crown of hearts that rests upon his head.
I honestly pray when I'm as old as these guys that I can still play or sing this frickin' good, man. Nearly every song has a great hook, a great solo, and a nasty sounding riff. I really enjoy the modern production on this record too. It's polished like the chrome on a Harley Davidson. Easily a highlight of their later career. Is it better than Firepower? You'd really be splitting hairs, but I could easily see this album going down in like the top 5 of their career. Check it out if you, for some reason, haven't heard it.
Slimelord, Chytridiomycosis, Relinquished. All right, Forgemates, I will be real with you. If you spin any album on this list, and if you're a death metal fan, spin this album. This album came the f out of nowhere, man, and surprised the hell out of me. With the killer artwork by Brad Moore setting the tone for the bizarre metal fury within, the album unleashed a torrent of mind-bending riffs and atmospheric depths to the lowest of lowest hells. Tracks like Gut Brain Axis showcases the band's ability to seamlessly blend death metal with funeral doom elements, which, you know, I love. Led by vocalist Andrew Ashworth's haunting delivery, it's just perfect. Far from traditional death metal themes, Slimelord explores existential thought, offering a refreshing and unexpected take on the genre. I got a lot of Yob vibes from the lyrics, and I'm not complaining. Tracks like The Hissing Moor delve deeper into that murky, exploratory realm, while Heroic Demise channels that wild, progressive metal side along their groove influences. Despite comparisons to bands like Morbid Angel, I cannot believe how unique this band took their brand of death metal on this particular record. In a lot of ways, it reminds me of the band Sludge, a highly underrated death metal band, by the way, but almost not at all at the same time. With this album's release on 20 Buck Spin, Chytridiomycosis Relinquished joins a roster of bands pushing the envelope of the genres that are on the label. My dudes, if you love weird ass death metal, do not skip this album.
Sonata Arctica, Clear Cold Beyond. This band has a very special place in my heart, so I had to give them some love. Silence and Winterheart's Guild were freaking game changers for me in my formative years, dude. Still great at records, amazing vocals, amazing guitar playing, just amazing. Clear Cold Beyond is the 14th album under Captain Tony Kakko's banner. The lineup has gone through a tremendous amount of changes, and that reflects on the delivery of the band's output throughout the years. So how does this record contend with my favorite era of this band? That was a clip from one of my favorite songs on this record, and maybe one of the best songs they've ever written, Shamat. It stands out among what is typical of this band, some fast, up-tempo songs interspersed with sad boy ballads. Overall, this is a pretty decent Sonata Arctica record. While I wouldn't put it nearly as high as I would Winterheart's Guild or Silence, there are a lot of nods to that classic era. The pacing is a bit off and there's some bloat, but it's nice to hear some awesome solos and Tony still going strong.
Skeletal Remains, Fragments of the Ageless. As you can see, I've been a huge fan of the death metal genre lately. I admit I had some initial skepticism going into this record, but I was pleasantly surprised by this album's undeniable strength and killer execution. From the opening moments of Relentless Appetite, the album slams in with a relentless assault of killer chunky riffs, blast beats, and best of all, groove, man. I get a lot of Hate Eternal vibes from this album, and I love every second of it. Verminous Embodiment offers a weighty death metal extreme with those slamming drums and dynamic grooves, while the track Unmerciful impressed the hell out of me with its 7-minute captivating runtime, seamlessly weaving intricate riffs and that fantastic double bass. While the mix and production lean towards a pretty modern sound, I do appreciate the attempt to keep the vocals raw and drenched in reverb in the old school side. The new school sound applied to old school death metal vibes is just awesome here, man. Fragments of the Ageless made me realize that you can take decades old genre tropes with some new studio tricks and make it sound absolutely fantastic. Check this one out, man. Don't forget to drop a thumbs up if you're new. Think about subscribing too. Let us know what your favorite album was in the comments. Check out some of our other videos right here.
Go with the gods, Forgemates. The Slimelord is waiting with his slimy tentacles.